Well, hello. I want to talk to you today about the Reform 1745 fountain pen. Now, this is a fountain pen from the 1970s, and as you can see, it's a little bit slimmer than some of the other pens I've used. It's another vintage pen that I picked up. Now, this one, if you're interested in getting into vintage pens, would be a fairly low-cost option that's quite easy to find. This was a school pen at one time, so students would have purchased it. It was priced for them. And it is still priced very competitively. Now what you get is a piston filling pen with a nifty ink window. Blue, I like that blue ink window. I just think that looks pretty slick. And you get a very nice nib that's somewhat flexible. Now, don't be fooled into thinking it's a flex pen, but wow, what an impressive nib. In fact, the nib kind of makes me think of a really stiff Noodler's Nib Creeper, or possibly a there we go, a Pelikan, again, a stiffer Pelikan M200. In fact, it's pretty close to that size. So, and those two pens would give you a rough idea of the size of this pen also. I've been very impressed with it. I've been writing with it regularly. I keep inking it up. Every time it gets empty, I ink it up again. So, fun! All right, so as you can see, it's not the most exciting pen. Nice green body. I'm afraid you can't see the blue ink window in this because it's full of ink. Yeah, I guess you see a few hints of blue there, but it's a blue pen, or I'm sorry, blue ink window anyway. Black grip, plastic, nice small nib, and very flexible. So let's do a smear test. I'm sort of flexing it there, but now here's with no pressure. Yeah, that's a bit of line variation. I mean, pressure? None. It's marketed as an extra fine pen, which, doggone, it doesn't look like one. Wetness and flow, unflexed. Keeps up just fine. Flexed. And again, keeps up just fine. But again, if you're ever going to flex a pen, never push it beyond its limits, because doing exactly what I just did is a good way to go whoop with the tines of the nib, and then they never come back. So use some caution when you do that. Know that it's safe with the pen you're doing it with. All right, as far as reverse writing, I have an extra I there. I don't know if you heard that. It's a little bit, it makes a lot of noise, but it's fairly smooth. And I don't know if you'd call that maybe an ultra extra fine, so not bad. Now our quote. All right, so I'll just also note there's a two-tone gold-plated nib. But this is a very plain pen, but look at that. That is nice writing. Maybe ignore the handwriting a bit. But I have been very impressed by this pen. Now, would I buy it again? Oh, absolutely. This is a fun vintage pen. It is actually a good writing experience. Now, I'll admit it's a little narrower than I would like, but it is a nice pen. So, yeah. What don't I like? Well, it's a bit narrow. Other than that, totally happy with it. So as far as size, like I said, it's very comparable to a Noodler's Nib Creeper or a Pelikan M200. I always compare it to a Noodler's Conrad. So capped, it might have been nice maybe if I'd laid a ruler down here first. I'll think of that for the next video. Capped, about half an inch. The Conrad's about half an inch longer. Uncapped, both screw caps. Oops, and I just got ink on the paper, but oh well. So the nib on the Conrad is like a monster compared to this. Mind the staining and ink window on the Conrad. Yeah, so again, about ½ an inch longer. And, oops, posted. This sounded like a good idea before I actually tried it. I don't typically post this pen, but if I were to post it, let's turn this diagonal so you can see the whole thing. Again, about ½ an inch longer than the Reform pen. So I thank you for watching. If you found this interesting or useful, I invite you to subscribe below. We'll see you later.